Can you believe it? It's summer 2025, and the United States, a country once crowned the king of global tourism, is eerily quiet. The airports, practically ghost towns, the terminal screens, a sea of cancellations, the security lines that used to stretch out the doors, gone. All of this during peak travel season. Here's the jaw-dropper. In less than 12 months, 6 international airlines have silently pulled out of the U.S. market. No big press releases, no televised announcements, just gone. And the fallout, a 35% plunge in international arrivals, the steepest decline in over 2 decades. But wait, don't think this is just some seasonal slump. This is deeper. This is systemic. It's not that Europe, Asia, or even Canada got more attractive overnight. It's that America made itself harder to love. Sky-high airfare, visa hoops that frustrate even seasoned travelers, and airport experiences that feel more like war zones than welcome mats. And if you're thinking, oh, this will bounce back next year, think again. What we're witnessing isn't a temporary detour. It's a rerouting of global travel itself. Entire countries, entire communities are choosing to go elsewhere. And some of the names on this airline exit list, you won't believe it until you see it. So, buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why the world is quietly walking away from the United States and what that means for every future flight you book. And hey, if you want more real stories like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Number 1. Iceland Play Airlines. Let's start with one of the quietest but most chilling exits. Play Airlines, Iceland's budget-friendly darling. Remember those tempting $99 flights from Reykjavik to Boston? They were a go-to for students, backpackers, and young travelers across Northern Europe looking to experience the American dream. But in March 2025, Play Airlines officially pulled out of the U.S. market with zero warning. Every single U.S. route vanished from their booking system overnight. No announcements, no goodbyes, just gone. And the impact, devastating. According to the U.S. Travel Association, travel from Northern Europe to the U.S. plummeted by over 60% in under a year. That's not a dip. That's a crash landing. But this isn't just about cheap flights disappearing. It's about a deep shift in perception. The European Travel Commission found that 71% of Northern European travelers now prefer Canada or Japan over the U.S. Why? Concerns about social instability, hidden healthcare costs, and a lack of emergency support. A tour guide in Reykjavik told Iceland's RUV network, "I used to bring hundreds of people to New York every month. Now I tell them to go to Tokyo or Vancouver instead. The U.S. feels like a gamble, not a dream." Back in 2015, America was the #1 destination for Nordic tourists. By 2025, U.S. visa applications from Iceland had dropped 48%, while applications to South Korea and Canada more than doubled. Maybe the U.S. didn't just lose flights, it lost its welcome. Number 2, Canada, Air Canada, and WestJet. This one hits even closer to home, literally. In 2025, Air Canada and WestJet, the 2 largest airlines in Canada, cut over 40% of their U.S.-bound flights. And these weren't obscure routes. We're talking about staples, New York, Las Vegas, Orlando, and Los Angeles. For the first time ever, more flights now operate within Canada than to the United States. Why does that matter? Because for decades, traveling to the U.S., especially for winter getaways, was a Canadian tradition. Families, retirees, and snowbirds flocked to Florida and California like clockwork. But this year, tour agencies reported a 53% drop in U.S. vacation bookings, while trips to British Columbia and Nova Scotia shot up. A mother from Ottawa told CBC, "We used to think of the U.S. as our backyard. Now, I just don't feel safe taking the kids there anymore." And here's the kicker. It's not about money. Canadians aren't skipping U.S. trips because they're broke. They're avoiding them because they don't trust what they'll encounter. A downtown hotel in Los Angeles might cost $150 a night, plus $60 for parking, and then come the endless hidden fees. For that price in Quebec, you could stay at a lakefront resort with breakfast, silence, and zero sirens. 69% of Canadians over 50 now say the U.S. doesn't feel safe, and nearly half of those who visited in the past decade say they don't plan to return. So when Canadians start saying the U.S. feels too chaotic, too loud, too expensive, maybe it's time we start listening. Number 3. Germany, Lufthansa. Next on the departure list is a name synonymous with precision and legacy, Lufthansa, Germany's flagship carrier. In 2025, Lufthansa began a quiet but strategic retreat from the United States. Legendary routes like Frankfurt to Chicago, Frankfurt to Atlanta, and Frankfurt to Miami, some running continuously for over 40 years, were suddenly gone. No fanfare, just erased from the booking systems. Instead, Lufthansa is going all in on Asia. Flights to Tokyo, Seoul, and Delhi haven't just increased, they've been promoted to prime time slots, receiving the best crews and aircraft. That's not an adjustment. It's a transformation. For the first time since World War II, the United States is no longer a priority destination for Germany's largest airline. So why the pivot? A Lufthansa strategy director told Süddeutung, "We're not leaving America because we dislike it. We're leaving because it no longer makes sense." He pointed to, volatile exchange rates, rising airport fees, and growing security concerns, which include the threat of protests and urban unrest. And here's the data to back it up. According to IATA, passenger volume from Europe to the US fell by 24% last year, while routes from Europe to Asia saw their biggest surge since 2011. One veteran Lufthansa pilot put it plainly, "Flying to Tokyo or Delhi feels like relief, peaceful, organized. Flying to Houston, flashing lights, police, overpriced cabs, and passengers being treated like suspects." When even the crew dreads flying to your country, imagine how the passengers feel. Number 4. France, Air France KM. If Lufthansa's exit felt cold and calculated, the move by Air France KM hit with a more emotional tone, kind of like a reluctant farewell. In early 2025, the Franco-Dutch alliance quietly slashed between 30 and 45% of its US-bound flights. That includes iconic transatlantic routes like Paris to New York, Paris to Houston, and Amsterdam to Miami. Routes that once symbolized prestige and business connections between continents. Now they're gone. And just like Lufthansa, Air France KM is pivoting east. Flights to Tokyo, Seoul, Singapore, and Mumbai didn't just increase. They were bumped to priority slots, assigned top crews, and backed by their newest wide-body aircraft. It's a clear sign the US is no longer the destination. It's just another option. A senior Air France captain told Leon, "Flying passengers to New York used to be the dream. Now I breathe easier when I'm assigned to Tokyo or Seoul." The reason? He doesn't have to worry about pickpockets, protests, or passengers being caught up in chaotic immigration checks. And the data, it backs it all up. According to internal airline numbers, the load factor on US flights dropped below 70%. That's a real red flag in the aviation industry. Meanwhile, routes to Asia are actually outperforming 2024 forecasts. And it's not just about ticket sales, it's about the entire passenger experience. A flight from Paris to Tokyo feels, luxurious. But a flight to the US? Stressful, unpredictable, and honestly, far from what travelers used to dream about. The message from France is pretty clear. America is no longer worth the hassle. Number 5, Australia, Jetstar. From the Southern Hemisphere comes one of the most sobering exits yet. Jetstar, Australia's energetic budget airline, has completely pulled the plug on all routes to the United States. That's right. Los Angeles, Honolulu, San Francisco, every single US connection is gone. For the first time since Jetstar was founded, the United States has vanished from its roadmap, and that's no small shift. The Sydney to Los Angeles flight once symbolized a powerful east-west link, affordable, adventurous, aspirational, but now it's just a memory. The reasons are as blunt as they are damning. In 2025, landing fees at U.S. airports jumped 38%. Jetstar's CEO said it plainly, "Visa procedures are a nightmare, and our passengers are tired of being treated like threats at immigration." Older Australian travelers especially feel the sting. Complaints have poured in about the lack of senior support in U.S. airports, outrageous emergency medical fees, and language barriers, even for native English speakers. One retired couple from Melbourne recalled their 2-hour interrogation in Los Angeles over passport confusion. "It felt like we were criminals just for visiting." They said that was in 2019. They never came back. Australian tourists are loyal, polite, and generous spenders. But when they walk away, they don't make a scene. They simply reroute and stay gone. And here's the real loss. Australia isn't just another tourist market. It's a cultural bridge, easygoing, steady, and respectful. When that kind of traveler gives up on you, earning back their trust could take a decade, if ever. Number 6. United States JetBlue. This isn't just about foreign airlines fleeing. Even American carriers are retreating from their own backyard. In 2025, JetBlue, once the rising star of customer-first travel, made its largest domestic cut in company history. 15 airports dropped. Entire cities like Syracuse, Worcester, Kansas City, and Fresno gone from their route map. And it doesn't stop at these hubs. JetBlue isn't alone. Across the board, U.S. domestic aviation is thinning. There's been a 41% spike in fuel prices since 2022. Nationwide labor shortages from pilots to maintenance crews to baggage handlers. Rising security incidents. Airports are more chaotic than ever. According to the FAA, 38% of smaller U.S. airports have lost more than half of their daily flights in just 1 year. And here's the emotional toll. Small-town Americans are being left behind. A former JetBlue pilot based in Ohio said it best. "I used to fly across 30 states, little towns where people cheered just to see a plane land. Now those flights are gone. It leaves a kind of emptiness you can't measure." This isn't just about convenience. When flights disappear, so do opportunities. Seniors can't get to specialists. Students can't visit out-of-state colleges. Entrepreneurs lose access to national markets. A shrinking flight map means a shrinking American dream. And the most painful part, these communities didn't get abandoned by a foreign government or global crisis. They got priced out by their own. And there you have it. 6 airlines, 6 warning signs. The skies aren't just less crowded, they're shifting away from the U.S. entirely. If you found this eye-opening, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because the next airline to disappear might be one you rely on. Don't miss what's coming next.